I guess you could say this is the sequel to Top 5 Matches to Show a Non-Wrestling Fan, but this time we're doing pay-per-views. These are basically shows that I think would, guide someone into becoming a wrestling fan. Those poor lost souls who don't watch wrestling. Anyway, these are shows that might not be the best shows of all time, but I think they're fun enough to get people into wrestling and really show off the fun aspects of it. Anyway, coming in at number 5, a show towards the tail end of the Attitude Era, we have Royal Rumble 2001. Basically a two-match show here. You got the amazing ladder match between Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho. 5 stars in my opinion. A fantastic ladder match. And aside from the fact that it's a great match, ladder matches in general are a lot of fun. You get to see a lot of crazy spots, a lot of awesome action. And, they're very fun matches to watch. And you rarely see a bad ladder match. And this is a great one. This is a fantastic ladder match. And also the Royal Rumble in this show is absolutely fantastic. It's a great Royal Rumble. And the Royal Rumble concept itself is also very fun. Aside from two guys just going at it for about, like 60 minutes, you have a bunch of guys going in at one time. You got 30 men, and, it never really gets tiresome. This is one of the better Royal Rumbles because it has a lot of different shenanigans going on. You have Drew Carey and his fun, and then you see Kane eliminate 11 guys, and Kane goes on his rampage. This match is full of classic moments, and you see Austin's win and stuff. Let's see if Austin is a very well-known wrestler, so they'll latch onto him pretty quickly. And again, the Royal Rumble concept is also it's just a very fun concept, and it's a very easy concept to get into and to understand. And the world title match on this show between Triple H and Kurt Angle is also good, so it's a bonus points there. Coming in at number 4, we have a fantastic show from the year 2002. We got Survivor Series 2002. Fantastic show. In my opinion, one of the, if not the best shows in WWE history. I have 2, and both of them are on the list on what I think are the best pay-per-views of all time. And this is the first of the 2. Survivor Series 2002 is fantastic. It opens up, first of all, it's in MSG. And Madison Square Garden is probably the most famous building in the United States. It's one of the most famous in the United States, and it's a very famous arena. It's a New York crowd, and they're red hot for this pay-per-view. It opened up with a great 6-man elimination table tag, and you got to see crazy spots. Jeff Hardy did a swanton off from the cheap seats, as I like to call them, into 3-minute warning. It was a great opener, and there are a few botches. It was kind of a sloppy match, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to watch, and I truly enjoyed it. You also had a great cruiserweight title match with Billy Kidman and Jimmy Noble. Great match. A great hardcore match with Trish and Victoria, especially if you're trying to convert a woman into being a wrestling fan. That's a great match to show her, just to show that the Divas matches aren't just hair pulling and screaming. That's a fantastic match between those two girls. The WWE Championship match, it's okay. For 5 minutes, it did what it needed to do. They had a triple threat elimination tag team match, was a highly underrated match, very fantastic match, often overlooked. And the Elimination Chamber, like the Royal Rumble, is a very fun concept, but this match is amazing. One of the best matches in WWE history. Why not show it to them? It's a fantastic match. Anyway, Survivor Series 2002, great show, great crowd, and great matches all around the card. Not one bad match at all. Everything was delivered perfectly. A great show. Coming in at number 3, we have Money in the Bank 2011. Now, in my top 5 matches to show a non-wrestling fan, I had John Cena and CM Punk on the list, and this show cements that. This show was absolutely fantastic. This is one of the most amazing shows that we had seen in a long time. 2011, the business really wasn't all that hot right now, especially in 2010. Everyone was kind of hating on WWE. Everyone thought the product was stale, and it kind of was. And in 2011, it really didn't do that much better. We got off a lackluster WrestleMania in 27. I know a lot of people do like 27, but, a lot of people, including myself, don't think it's that great. And CM Punk kind of rejuvenated WWE with his pipe bomb, and this show was fantastic. You got 2 stellar Money in the Bank ladder matches. Both of them were absolutely fantastic. And you had a great world title match between Christian and Randy Orton. And the main event with John Cena and CM Punk is one of the best matches I've ever seen in this modern era. And it was a great match, and it told a great story. If anyone was jumping into this, you'd know CM Punk's story just by the opening promo they had at the beginning of this pay-per-view and just the match going on between Cena and CM Punk. Fantastic match. It is a little slow after the first Money in the Bank ladder match. You had Kelly versus Brie Bella and Mark Henry and the Big Show, which were 2 kind of slow matches, but it picks right up at the Raw Money in the Bank ladder match. This is a fantastic show, and every fan, every fan loves it. Every fan praises it. I have not met one person who thinks this show is overrated or anything like that. So a non-wrestling fan would definitely be drawn into the show. And like Elimination Chamber and like Royal Rumble, the Money in the Bank ladder match is also a very, very fun concept because not only do you have 2 guys in a ladder match, but you got 8 guys in a ladder match. So you got 2 great, great ladder matches and a fantastic 5-star classic WWE title match. Can't go wrong with that show. Coming in at number 2, we have, in my opinion, the best pay-per-view in the history of WWE, so why not show it to him? SummerSlam 2002. This one's self-explanatory. You got great, great, great matches on here. Top to bottom, there is not one bad match on this card. You got a bunch of classic matches on here. And of course, the most classic of them all is Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Now, even though this is just a great, great match, you also see Shawn Michaels, recovery and his comeback. This is the start of HBK's second run, and you see that he's a different man, and this could just be, I think that can be inspiring to some people. I'm not trying to be all sappy here, but it is inspiring, because if Shawn Michaels stayed on the road and what he was doing, he would have died. And, thank God his injury happened, because his injury was probably the best thing that ever happened to him. And he came back, and you can just tell he's different. If you look at the promo before Shawn Michaels and Triple H, when it shows him in the 90s, they do kind of make him seem like he was a good guy and all that, but you could tell he just had a dick tone to him. You could tell he had a chip on his shoulder. But when he came back, you could tell he was happy and he was energetic. And it's very inspiring to see Shawn Michaels like that. And I think a non-wrestling fan would really latch onto that and would really aspire to see someone like Shawn Michaels. So, SummerSlam 2002, aside from its fantastic matches and fantastic card, also has the Shawn Michaels story. So, that is a great pay-per-view to show. So, that comes in at number 2. Number 1. Now, to me, this was a no-brainer. For some, this might be a little bit of a shock that I'm putting it on right here, even though it just happened. But how can you not put it on? WrestleMania 30 is the best pay-per-view to show a non-wrestling fan. How can it not be? How can it not be this show? I dare you to find me any WrestleMania, any pay-per-view that could beat this. This poured emotion. Match quality-wise, it's pretty good. I'm not going to say it's the best WrestleMania match quality-wise. I think shows like 19, 17, 24, they pretty much beat WrestleMania 30. But moments-wise, holy shit, do not tell me there was one better than WrestleMania 30. Case in point, Undertaker's streak. How can you get more emotional than that? Just the crowd reacting. We live in today's day and age of internet smarks. People who know the results before the show even starts. People who can predict what's going to happen while the match is going on. Everyone in that crowd was thrown for a swerve. Everyone had their jaws on the floor, including myself. And I was in that New Orleans crowd, and my jaw was on the floor too. Fantastic emotion. Sure, a non-wrestling fan would not be as invested in the Undertaker streak as a wrestling fan was, who has been following the Undertaker for 10 plus years. However, that's besides the point, because if they see the promo and see how heralded his streak is at 21-0, they are going to be a little shocked when they see the Undertaker lose and just see everyone's crowd reactions. Even if they saw the Undertaker loss coming, just seeing the crowd reactions would make them think, wow, this guy meant a lot to wrestling, and he meant a lot to these people, and they would know the Undertaker is someone truly special. Aside from the Undertaker, you also have Daniel Bryan's glorious rise to the top, and the promo between him and Triple H, that promo they had before the Triple H Daniel Bryan match, is phenomenal, with Monster by Imagine Dragons. That song fits so well, and the promo fits so well. And again, kind of like the Shawn Michaels thing, they'll be inspired by Daniel Bryan, a guy who was not going to make it in WWE, somehow did with the power of himself and the people behind him. And his match with Triple H was already kind of like, tear-jerking enough to see how far he's come, but his WWE Championship win and the reaction from the crowd is absolutely shocking. It's huge, and it's almost deafening when Batista taps out and you hear the crowd reaction. It is so hard to get a crowd reaction that loud in a dome like the Superdome. It is phenomenal how much the crowd reacts to Daniel Bryan and how emotional his title win is. It is absolutely fantastic. I don't see any show ever topping the emotion of WrestleMania 30 until we get to, WrestleMania 50. That's the only one I can see topping it with moments. But, you could argue WrestleMania 3. You could argue that, but in my opinion, WrestleMania 30, especially in this modern era, delivers more on the moments than WrestleMania 3. Even though WrestleMania 3 has that fantastic moment with Andre and Hogan, I don't see it beating WrestleMania 30. WrestleMania 30 is a one-off WrestleMania. It is one of a kind. I don't think we're ever going to see another WrestleMania like this in the next, 10, 20 years. Maybe at WrestleMania 50 we'll see some other classic heart palpitating moments like WrestleMania 30 delivered, but I don't see that happening. Match quality wise, it was a great WrestleMania, and moments wise, it was a great WrestleMania. I could not think of any other show.